Hello, it's me again. I haven't spoken in a while. Hope you're all doing all right. So I reduced anti-aliasing in, let's say, certain programs, and we seem to be able to run Final Fantasy without too much issue. 65, 72, 73, 55 takes a little bit of dips now and then, especially with a lot of particle effects and stuff. But I think that seems to have mostly solved the issue. And I've got some things to say. I might switch to another game before the end of this stream. I don't know how long I want to make this stream, but we might switch to another game before the end of it. Regardless, though, hi, how you been? I've been doing all right. Thank you for asking. I've still got this stupid cough. I hate it with a burning passion. I probably should have gotten some water before I started. I've also got a little bump in my mouth, and it's very annoying to me. I keep feeling it, and it's very irritating. I rotate between experiencing weird health. I wouldn't say issues, but mysteries, let's call it, and ignoring them, and being simultaneously hypochondriac, being a hypochondriac about it. So it's always a fun thing to kind of vacillate back and forth from. By the way, look at this though. Not that. This. I've got them all at 90. I've got I've got glamours for each one except for astrologian, and I think there's a couple pieces missing from like a couple of them. But I don't know how to hide the. How do I hide the UI? I don't know how to hide the AI. I apologize. I think there's like a button for that. I don't remember. We'll just deal with it for the time being. Look at him go. I like to choose Ninja and Island Sanctuary because you can teleport around. Though I think Reaper and White Mage are probably my favorites. I really love the little hat here. I'm just attached to this scythe as well. Otherwise, I might choose something different. I might go with a different scythe, something a little cooler, perhaps. But look at this. I don't like the weapons being too flashy, but this is nice because it's just kind of at the top. You know, it's just like a little bit of flair as opposed to flash, which some of the weapons are in this game. I think this is the first one I really made. I might go back and redo it a little bit, but it's all right. I mean, it kind of fits. Kind of like a more neutral look, not exactly scholar specific. See, astrologian, there's nothing there. I like Sage a lot, just as a class, and I probably might switch around these. What are they called? Arms, pendulums, milpreves. I don't know. I keep coughing. I wasn't coughing this much before, but I guess I wasn't talking, so get what you put in, I guess. Let's got Bard here as well. Also kind of like a neutral look. Kind of like a Dick Beardy look, honestly. This one I feel a little weird about. I can't describe exactly why. I think it's like the skirt with the legs, but there's like the metal chest plate and everything. I think that's maybe why. I really like the kind of metal look here for the machinist. A lot of them tend to be like fabricy because they're all aiming and like dancery. Like see like that. But I like the more metallic look on the machinist, similar with the samurai, because that's striking gear, which shares the gear space with monk. So a lot of them tend to be pretty clothy or whatever, but this one's got like a nice armored samurai type look, whereas they kind of want you to go more traditional. Is it more traditional? I'm not that familiar with like the history of the samurai, but the more clothy kind of wandering samurai look as opposed to the like warlord samurai look, I guess, if that's a real thing. I don't know if that is or not. This one feels like it's too much, but I kind of dig it regardless. This feels like it should be in a different game, except for the stupid wings on the back. But that's just kind of a summoner special, isn't it? Most of you who don't know, that's something that happens very commonly with a summoner specific apparel. I don't think that one was summoner specific, but it certainly looks like it anyways. This one I also like quite a bit. Got like a red and blue and white type thing going on. Very dual. Dual. It's got a very dual look to it. Got a bit of a duality to it, which the red mage does. They have, for those who don't know, they go in between like white mage spells and black mage spells, so it's very, very cool. It's a fun class. I mean, they're all pretty fun. Some, what do you think? I didn't have as good of a time with Ninja. I see why other people like Ninja, but I just wasn't a big fan. Same thing with Samurai, which you can start to kind of put a picture together for what I like to play in this game by that. White Mage felt a little bit vanilla, but it's very strong. It's a bit of a, I don't want to say glass cannon, but definitely a bit of a, it does what it does very well. Same thing with Sage, but just in the opposite direction, because White Mage is a bit of like a straight up like super strong heal class, but Sage is like, if you know how to mitigate damage, incoming damage, you are set for life as Sage. But yeah, so give me a second, I'm gonna like just cough for like 20 seconds straight and hope that gets it out of my system, at least relatively, so just give me 1 second. Okay, that was not 20 seconds, but I'm feeling a little bit better. So some updates on my life, because I know that's what you're here for. I mostly finished the Mafia Discord bot, and you know, I think I mentioned this before. It's hard to remember when I mention and when I don't mention when I stream as infrequently and randomly as I do. I want to create a consistent schedule, but the problem is I need to sort everything else in my life out first. And I was feeling a certain way, so I decided to stream. I get in these moods where I just want to like listen to music and work on something, which is definitely a much better mood to get into than, you know, just sitting around doing nothing. Yeah, but it's this feeling like like I'm not gonna amount to anything that drives me there. So I don't know that it's more of a healthy feeling, but definitely more of a beneficial feeling nonetheless. I on my list of priorities, I think I've mentioned applying to this program before, and if I got in, it would pretty much set me up. So that's number one. Although I've done like 90% of the work for that. I I'm waiting on an interview, so that's mostly what I'm waiting on there. And then after that, I need to start transfer application for multiple schools soon. So we're going to be doing that soon as well. Probably like tomorrow. I've got an exam that doesn't matter tomorrow. It's one of those, I want to say like standardized testing, I guess, as far as standardized testing goes. So I've got to do that. But but yeah, so you know, I've got some stuff coming up that I have to not like super study for. Studying is gonna come soon in terms of like studying for tests and things. It's gonna be very soon, undoubtedly. But in the immediate future, anyways, I'm not. There's nothing besides like homework that I really need to be focused on, which I'm grateful for. I I think I was starting to mention this, but yeah. So I turned the Mafia Discord bot into a game, I might show that off here some point soon. I'm hoping to grind out to level 8 in my sanctuary. I really want to get that. There's like a motorcycle or something. I think there might be like a T-Rex or something along those lines. I want to get all the mounts. Which, speaking of which, I think you might have seen me writing it not too long ago, but I also got all the liners. I just grinded out all the liners because you can do that pretty easily with I was about to say Shadowbringer gear and Walker gear. So I went through and got all of those. Oh wow, I have a lot of Kamuis. I don't know where. Oh, I must have got them from the Mog event or whatever. That's good to know. Okay. What's Kamui? I guess that would be Stormblood. And which one did I? Wait, which one was I running then? Wait, which one is blue? Yeah, so I guess I must have been running Stormblood. Wait, so oh, I was looking at the wrong. I was looking at these. Whoops. I needed to be looking at these. I have a list in the website Garland Tools, but if you play Final Fantasy and you've never heard of the website Garland Tools, garlandtools.org, this isn't sponsored, as you might imagine, given by the fact that I am a zero-view streamer. But it's a very handy website that if you craft, if you gather, if you grind in any sort of capacity in this game, I would highly recommend it to you because it is just incredibly versatile and useful for anything you could possibly want out of this game. Honest to God, it is the most useful tool in my 148 days of playing that I have ever encountered. Jesus Christ. Oh, that's a lot of time. It's a lot of time. Not all of it active and paying attention, but a significant portion nonetheless, I do have to admit. I did spend a lot of time just grinding trusts, especially in the early days of Inawalker. But I realized that, grinding too much wasn't helping me in life. So I decided to come back at a time, very pivotal moment in my life, and come back to Final Fantasy and let it overtake my life. So, good job, Vic. Well, it's not been too bad. I haven't let it overcome my life too much. It definitely has become a daily routine where maybe some more productive things should have gone in. But I'm trying not to think too much about reaching YouTube success anymore. That's a goal I will never reach if I'm focused on it in the way that I am. I either need to go like absolute 100% balls deep or not at all, and I do not. If I go 100% balls deep, then I will likely end up pouring on the streets. So, maybe not the best idea. These other projects that I'm working on can take a backseat if I let's say need to study for like a month straight for school or whatever, or I need to look for an apartment because I'm moving, because I'm transferring schools or whatever, or because I need to go find a job, and okay, I'm making some progress in that regard. But I had an interview, and I think I did pretty well in that interview, so hopefully I'll be getting a call back soon. If not, I really need to put out some more applications for some jobs. There's something I was going to talk about in particular. I was going to talk about... Oh, yes. I've done some more self-reflection. I know. Great job, Vic. You do that pretty much. That's all you do every stream, pretty much. Which, fair enough. That's true. I mean, I think... I hate when I say it like that. When I say, well, first off, when I say I think, because it's such a failure word on my part that I hate saying it as much as I do. but I do, and it's because I don't like to express certainty in that regard, in that sort of way. I want to express that I am not being 100% certain, but I think generally it comes across that way. I don't know, maybe subtlety is lost on the internet even without, or excuse me, even with the benefit of the tone of my voice, which is kind of what I had come to the conclusion about, which I think that I need to be a little more excited and a little more exciting, which is definitely difficult as if you've come this far, you will have some familiarity with the problems I face in terms of energy level and overall experiencing emotions. So, definitely something that's a little more the difficult side to get started with. But I just, if this is something that I want to do eventually, which I'm considering this kind of practice for doing so, then it's something that I need to do. It's something I just need to be a little more upbeat. I need to be a little faster. Even the slower streamers, even the more like calm streamers, they have like some. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. They have a couple streamers who maybe don't have like an energy level, who are very very low energy level. But I don't think I can necessarily pull that off. Maybe I could. Who knows? But even just to start with, to attract people, people are not going to be attracted by the idea of somebody just sitting there kind of boringly, monotonously talking. So I need to maybe stop that. Um, Especially when it comes to videos, because obviously I can record myself in videos. I can decide what I sound like in videos. Therefore, I have to get a little more animated in videos. I have a lot of um my mind keeps going back to benefits, but benefits is not quite the right word. I have a lot of advantages, I guess, is maybe the slightly better turn of phrase to use here. And that I I don't want to give it away, but I have some advantages when it comes to editing videos, making videos on the internet. When it comes to being a VTuber, I suppose also some disadvantage in that there is a distinct lack of titties on the screen. But regardless of that, in terms of long-term sustainability regarding my personality, I have some advantages. Personality and I don't know, stage presence. Let's call it. I should maybe further elaborate. I also want to get better at not. I guess it's stuttering. It's when I do that, it's generally partly intentional to indicate the fact that I am thinking. Like I can stop doing that, but I don't know. I guess it's a bit of a habit at this point, but it's a habit that I do in fact need to get rid of. So that's something that I'm going to be attempting to not do anymore as much. There's definitely a lot of things like that, which again, the whole I think thing, the whole... Is that stuttering? I don't really know. Yeah, I guess that's stuttering. I don't know, I feel like some... Well, I think and I feel, not just I think, but those words, phrases like that. Anywho, uh, I the reason that I came about this was I had done some analysis on where people were dropping off on that first video, and obviously the one video does not a trend make, but still it can give some indicators as to where interest may lie and explicit disinterest may lie, as it were. So I took a good look at that and said, okay, what is the commonality? There's more than a couple drop offs in the first video and VTubing toxic positivity. A couple of them, I can kind of imagine the type of person that would drop off there. Well, first of all, somebody disliked that video. Fuck you for not even telling me why. Coward. I mean, not that you have to tell somebody why. It's obviously a joke, right? But also, I am kind of annoyed. I'm happy because that drives engagement, and YouTube will recommend videos that you dislike because it sees it as engaging, regardless of whether or not that engagement is good or bad. It sees it as engaging, but still to have like a one like, one dislike, or whatever. It's not what I was picturing for that video. Expecting, well, hoping for a little more. But again, that's something that I've come to grips with a little bit more and understand why that may be untenable. And I need to work on my kind of stage presence a little more. And did I mention this before? I don't remember what I've mentioned and what I haven't mentioned, so I'm going to mention it again. But I had an improv teacher tell me that I was a one note. He didn't expand on what that meant. I paid a fair amount of money to get into that class. That was the last day of class, and then we never spoke again. It kind of killed my interest for improv. I'm not going to lie to you. Especially because I had gone around telling everyone, like, oh yeah, this guy is like the funniest person here. I love him. I love his improv troupe. And then I last day of class, and he's like, bro, being very one note. And I'm like, and then we just kind of moved on and never got addressed again. So you know what? You know who you are if you're out there. Honestly, go fuck yourself. That's like such a rude thing to say in the first place. If you had apologized for it, maybe I could, like, get over it. But it's something that I still think about to this day. So it's clearly something that's affected me. That's not something a teacher should be saying. If you were like, if it had been for free, all right, I'd be offended. I'd be mildly offended, but I'd be like, okay, well, at least I didn't, I had some fun or whatever. I wasn't expecting too much out of it. I was mostly going there for social reasons and maybe to get a little bit better in terms of like timing and comedy and stuff for the YouTube stuff. No, I paid money for this. It doesn't even elaborate. Okay, buddy. Very rude. Very rude. I see. It's not. Is it the truth? I don't know. Maybe especially when I start thinking about something too much, I have a hard time analyzing myself and how it is. Like if I study for like 10 hours straight or whatever, do I know how much I know? No. I think that's. I would imagine that that is a pretty common occurrence among people. Like, you get a little. I was gonna use a different word, but let's say a little foggy. You get a little brain fog in there. You get a little tired. You aren't able to think about it as clearly. You're not able to take the step back that comes with time, or comes with kind of a beginner's first couple of steps. When you're first taking the first steps, you're like, okay, I'm starting to sound a little bit like this. But when you're in that uncanny valley, let's say playing the guitar, right? Let's just use playing the guitar as an example. I am not at this point, but I'd like to think I'm approaching this point where it's like, okay, my music is my not even my music, my like chord playing and strumming is starting to sound a lot like the big musicians, but there are little things in there that I can tell that I am not doing, but I'm not able to quite exactly tell what. Little, just tiny little jerks of the hand that come with time, just tiny little adjustments, being able to kind of sense that something isn't going right on the fly and change it a little bit, playing around your teammates, Like, here's a good example. I was playing Final Fantasy today. I could tell that somebody had never done this dungeon before. There was one person with like the best gear, best in slot, all melded. I don't think it was penta melded. That might not mean much to you, but basically had all of the good gear. But God, they were just fucking dying. I was like, this is clearly somebody playing. I don't know. Hopefully, they didn't buy the account because that supports unethical businesses. Not all the time, but by and large, it supports unethical businesses. or it's somebody that is like playing on a friend's account or something. And this happened multiple times, but I was able to play around them. I was able to tell where they were going to fail and where they were going to make mistakes before they even made the mistakes, before the mistakes even came up on the screen, before, they had the opportunity to make the mistakes. I was like, okay, I need to watch out because they are going to maybe kill us here. So I need to, I need to be cautious of that. And that's something that comes with time and experience. I'm not exactly a master raider in Final Fantasy. If I had spent the time to do so, maybe I would have that third sense around that. But around casual content, to be certain, I am very adept at this game, I would like to think. Same thing with anything. There's a certain uncanny valley. Uncanny valley is maybe even not the right word, but I hope it just kind of gets the point across where you are almost there, but it is just slightly not there. And you're not really able to tell why. I suppose I should probably explain what the uncanny valley is. If you don't know what the uncanny valley is, the uncanny valley is in a graph. There is a graph. In a graph, there's a graph. In a graph, there are depictions of things related to human beings. So on the very far left are things that are distinctly not human-like. And on the right are things that are human. And in the middle, there are things that are get close to human, kind of human. So like, for example, Wally has some human features, but he's very obviously not human. Same thing with Eve from Wally. You might put them all the way on the left because they have some human features. Optimus Prime maybe might put them on the left. Next to them might be like some robotic type human looking people. I guess, kind of like me, I might go on the left or I might go in there. On the right, you have humans and things that are like mostly human, like, what would be a thing that would be mostly human? Uh, like animated films, things they look like fairly human, but just some depictions. And then there are things that are like not quite human, like some creepy dolls, right? That kind of look human. The AI generated pictures that have like six hands or six hands, six fingers. They have they have proportions that just don't quite fit right. They have a weird stare. Their eyes are kind of strange. Their smile is not quite right. That's the uncanny valley. Something that's almost there but not quite. It's just in a weird way that you're not able to quite place your finger on. The Mandela catalog. If you've ever seen the like imposters, what are they called? Imposters, invaders, intruders, du- duplicates, whatever they're called. Those would fit under the uncanny valley as well. Same thing with, again, skill. And I think I'm maybe about that point in YouTube, maybe not quite. Where I'd say the uncanny valley in entertaining is more so, it's not so much like the right hand side is a perfect entertainer, but just like a good entertainer, somebody who is adept, maybe not even amazing, just adept, just good. Which it takes hundreds of hours to get past that block. And anything, art, you can tell when like a painting is just not quite right. Enter joke telling comedy, you can tell when a joke just almost lands or almost doesn't land. It's like this weird kind of like, okay, yeah, I mean, that was funny, but I'm not laughing. Maybe you get a like a a little nasal exhale or whatever. People in this graph, there's definitely more to the right, and I imagine there's another uncanny valley there where you're like almost amazing, you're almost top tier, you're almost S tier, but there's just something that you can't quite place your fingers on, and that's where a lot of people get stuck as well. Which is fair, because again, this takes like hundreds of hours, it takes real self-reflection to get past. And I was kind of at that point, or I wasn't at that point. I was on the previously mentioned point where I was maybe starting to get good, but and just not quite able entirely to self-reflect, to have the hundreds of hours of improvisational comedy experience needed to self-reflect. I could see some things I was doing wrong, but not necessarily be able to implement them in the moment. Stuff like that. And comedy is tough in that regard for a lot of people, myself included. I don't know about you, but I don't really, when I talk, I don't really formulate what I'm saying unless there's a pause like that. And when you can physically hear me thinking, or I say physically, I guess, audibly hear me thinking when I stop, when you can hear the gears turning, I'm thinking. But other than that, I don't particularly think about what I'm going to say. It just kind of comes out in a kind of intuitive manner, and occasionally I can guide it, but for the most part, I set the rocket and it lets itself go. It just flies off somewhere. I'm here along for the ride. Nice to meet you, Vic. Hope you're having a good day. I should go back to playing Pokemon Insurgents. Maybe I should play Pokemon Team Rocket on stream again. All kinds of ideas. There's other stuff I should be doing. Should be working on the game, which I'll show off soon. And once I hit level 8, I'll show it off. Which I don't think should be too long. Oh, speaking of which, I'm almost at 1,500 commendations and it's killing me. It's just absolutely killing me. Given I'm just trying to get experience at this point, I'm just going to collect everything I see, which is maybe just the best thing to do, especially considering I don't really think I need anything in particular. Let's see. I really used to need limestone, copper, and regular logs, but not so much anymore. I might need some hemp in the future, especially some vines and stuff. I've not made a whole bunch of progress on the game. I have a lot of the systems set up because I'm using Godot, and Godot uses a very similar system to Python, which is what the Discord bot was programmed in, so I have a lot of the framework needed. I can't exactly just copy and paste because Godot is kind of a weird developing software. I'll get into it a little bit more in a little bit. Essentially, though, I have the kind of, not so much the like coding framework, but more so the idea of how I can set it up so that it functions well, I guess is what I mean to say. Like I have a whole system of like night actions that I think is pretty intelligent and will work out decently, so I'm probably... Okay, I might even be able to port that just verbatim, which would save me a lot of time. Actually, no, that's... It's just a lot of networking that has to go on that gets involved in stuff like that. But I guess more so the systems surrounding that, the systems that like execute those actions and stuff like that. I'm getting a little high level, low level, I don't know. But let's get back to Godot. So Godot, in normal programming, it's kind of just a blank slate, your program, and you'll have like a run function that gets implemented, is sent off whenever you run the program. Godot is a little bit different. It's like everything is an object, which if you don't know programming, well, I don't need to get into programming here, but if you know programming, it's a very strange feeling to not just have like a blank slate, and you can kind of implement a blank slate by extending class, I think is the terminology. You extend the class at the beginning of the file, and it's pretty much just a blank slate. It took me a while to kind of wrap my head around that. I believe it was even mentioned explicitly in the tutorial I watched, but it's something that you kind of have to just butt or at least I had to butt my head against in order to really get it in my fat head. And that's certainly taken me a lot further than I was before, so I'm very grateful for that. I would say I'm like 10% the way there. Once I start picking up speed, though, I'm hoping that I'm going to really be picking up speed. I'm also hoping by the time I'm finished, things will have settled in a little bit more. I'll have a bit more of a routine, so I can do this whole mafia thing, kind of without being like, all right, on Wednesdays and Thursdays I've got school, and then on Friday I have an interview, on Saturday I'm working on this project, on Sunday I'm doing this, but I'm available on Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. Central, but also we can do it from 9 to 10 if we need to split it, like some stupid stuff like that or whatever, you know. I'm hoping to kind of just be like, all right, I've got Sundays off, I can work, or I work whatever time, and I can do it from like anytime from like 5 to 10 on Sundays or whatever, you know. Something a little just simple. Because I think it'd be a lot of fun, even if I don't necessarily make a big YouTube series out of it, maybe if it doesn't like become a thing. It would be fun just to meet new people and try this thing out, you know. And this way, other people can host the Mafia game as well, so that'd be fun. I don't know if I'd release it to a wide public because I don't necessarily feel comfortable that I'd be able to implement like top tier security protocols or whatever. I'd be able to fully secure that. I mean, the idea is that, you know, it's for streamers and people I trust and stuff like that. So, in that sense, it should hopefully not work out too. It should be fine. You know, because I mean, at worst, the way I'm going to implement it, the way I have the framework set up right now, the only one to be like, if there were theoretically a doxing, it would just be me, which is maybe not a great thing to admit. But admitting that the host could be doxed is not exactly a great advertisement. Which again, I've got like very, very little networking code at the moment. It's mostly just UI. It's more so a matter of my knowledge. I'm very scared as to what I don't know, rather than being scared of the limitations of what I do know, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know what I don't know. And a lot of tutorials tend to be particularly simplified, and I've never really dealt with networking. Even in the Python bot for Discord, obviously, you know, Discord takes care of the networking, so I don't particularly have to worry about implementing networking there. Implementing UI is so much simpler in Godot. I very much appreciate it. This falls back to graphic design, though, where I'm a little bit afraid that I won't be able to do something good. I have a couple of like cute ideas that people would probably like. It'd be like, oh, this kind of this is a small thing that wraps it together, but I don't know anything about like making a background or implementing a cohesive theme or whatever. That's something that I might not necessarily do on a first release, that I might necessarily bother with on a first release. You know, just kind of make it very simple, and then kind of see how people like it in terms of gameplay and stuff, and kind of focus on that first, make that my main priority, and then after that, allow myself to kind of get caught up in the mundanities of, I guess it's not fair to call it a mundanity, I get caught up in the, oh crap, I was supposed to be making this restraint. I made like 10 nets and tried to catch a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, wow, I can't catch anything with this updated net. I'm just dumb, everybody. But the main point of it being, you know, I'm just gonna worry about simple stuff. What is needed here? Iron ores. creeper iron ore. I don't need here. Iron ore, Lukoganai, spruce log? Oh, that's something I have to get from things, don't I? Yeah, crap. Okay. So next time around, instead of I've been sending them to the garnet place because garnet rapiers tend to be pretty profitable. But next time around, I'll send them to wherever I get the log from. Okay. What else can I? Can't do that guy yet. Do these workshops. I'm gonna need a shit ton of iron for that though. Keep that in mind. But I'm excited to see where this goes as a program, as a experience, as a community effort, or not a community effort, but you know, a community, not experience, a community. I don't want to be narcissistic and be like a community glue, but something to do with other people that is interesting, I think, is ultimately what I'm trying to get across here. It seems like a lot of fun to do this, and hopefully I have a lot of fun, and hopefully other people have a lot of fun. Why is it like not making a noise? Shouldn't there be music or something? Weird. I I don't exactly know when I'm gonna go full speed into YouTube again. It kind of really took the wind out of my sails. I'm not gonna lie. When it happened, the whole thing, the whole shebang, and I feel a little embarrassed admitting that. I'm not even gonna lie. Just because it feels like I shouldn't be embarrassed. Or just because it feels like I should be embarrassed. Is perhaps what I meant to say there. I should feel slightly ashamed that I am embarrassed by the fact that it didn't do as well as I hoped it would do, and I was kind of sad about that. But that's just a part of making stuff, is that it takes a while to get good at it, and it takes a while for people to notice it, and people probably won't notice it, but that's okay because I'm just gonna keep making stuff. I had this whole idea of making a cohesive channel. I'm probably just gonna scrap that idea and make videos as they come to me. Kind of try to write a kind of try to ride that passion. I don't know that it's something that would really drive traffic if people are like, oh, this guy made a funny YouTuber video, and then they go and say, like, oh, he does videos on like eldritch horror for some reason. Why? That's a little weird, but okay. I don't know that I want to subscribe to this. But hopefully, I'll be decent enough at making videos that people are like, okay, I like this video. I would like to watch more, even if it isn't necessarily about something I know a lot about. I would love to make a video on eldritch horror. There is a bit of an issue in the fact that everybody and their mother has made a video on eldritch horror. I have an idea for a video that is a little bit outside of the realm of everything else that I've done, so I might do a video on that. It might be topical at some point in the next, like, 3 years or something. Or maybe it'll get some back views or something. It's about a topic I feel particularly passionate about, so it's a video that may happen. Like, I'm not gonna lie, did I mention I was gonna make a video about agencies, about VTuber agencies? I don't know, I had script written, audio written, audio recorded, and I was maybe like 20% the way done editing, but I just don't feel as interested in making it anymore. And then also, I want to make sure that I am putting that effort forward as I was before. Excuse me, that made absolutely no sense. I want to make sure that I am putting forth a good effort that people would be interested in watching. I want to take the lessons I've learned from my first video and put them into action, is what I mean to say here. Which, God, I could probably just mine all day, but I really do need to, like, actually go and work on stuff. So what we're gonna do is I am going to mine this last rock, and then we're gonna switch over to talking with Vic, and then okay, let's see. Okay, that's not gonna take us where we want. Our something just. Oh, that was Final Fantasy. I was like, something closed. I'm scared. What is it? Somebody hold me. Need to check that like my YouTuber software didn't just close. Okay, let's. Oh, I need to properties. Uh, then does it be like that? This? Hey. Okay, cool. So yeah, so we have a lot of these buttons just don't work right now. We have options, which doesn't do anything. That'll do something soon. Customize game, which crashes the game, perhaps. Yes, it does. Okay, cool. Hold on. Let me. It's like not even an alpha. Okay. Is it back? Okay, we're back. Okay, cool. Hit start game. Can type stuff here. This is just a test right now for the chat functioning, so I'm just keeping that there. Got host room, join room. I don't know if join room does anything right now. I need to work out the networking, which is what I'm gonna do here in a minute after the stream. Well, I say a minute, probably not a minute, but you know. So these actually do change things at the moment. These all change things. I don't know if there's maybe a better implementation of this night. Oh, I need to change the text. Oh, you can't see my cursor. It says night timer, but it's supposed to say player limit. Um, well, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I might change that around so that it's dynamic based on, because right now you have to hit that limit. I guess you don't have to. Okay, I should write that down. Sorry, I'm thinking a whole lot about ways I can potentially program stuff, but this isn't a programming stream, so we're not doing that. I've thought about doing that before, but given that there is in fact networking involved in this project, I'm a little paranoid about doing that, about somebody finding an exploit or whatever. But yeah, theoretically, like who cares, right? I don't know. Oh, 12 minutes, whatever minutes, 7 minutes for nighttime. It's adjustable. It's start game. Those maybe I should have changed that before I did anything. But we've got a working night, we've got a working day timer. Ignore the flashing. We got the day set up. Um, Bottom left will be the roll screen. The kind of big thing in the middle there with the people on it. Those are actual people, as you may be able to guess. I just looked up, like random Zoom thing, which maybe I shouldn't be showing this on stream for that reason. I don't know. Maybe should. I don't. I should maybe be worried about this, but I think it should be fine. It is something you just find on Google. In the middle will be the player list. On the right will be like the chat, and underneath that'll be the chat box, and underneath that it'll be like options to potentially, like, I need to stop saying like potentially message teammates and just random people. I kind of need to work on the specifics in that regard, and in that specific category about whether or not I might just make it an option to turn on or off, like being able to DM somebody during the day. So ideally, the way this works, I'm just gonna go talking with fake here. Ideally, the way it works is that it allows me to close it and doesn't just freeze up, and I have to go into Task Manager to kill it. Ideally, what happens is I'm able to kind of sort out voice over IP, the thing that allows you to talk on Discord or in video games or whatever. Unfortunately, I've run into two problems regarding streaming video, as in, streaming your VTuber model to other people or whatever. Or I don't know, I guess live non-VTubers are welcome as well. But I'm gonna mostly put out the feelers to VTubers, to VTubing communities. Regardless, the idea is gonna be that you take the Discord video chat, you mute the video chat, you put the video box in your recording device. And for example, I'm using OBS Studio. Am I using OBS Studio? No, I've got Oh, I see. Wait, hold on. Use Stream Elements, but it just says it's OBS Studio because it takes it from OBS Studio. So you put that as a recording, and then you overlay that onto the game capture that you have in a separate thingy. I'm not explaining this super well. Okay, back to square one. So you record the game using like a game capture element, and that's what shows the game in your favorite streamer streams. And did you take something similar for the video chat that you could pop out, and you overlay that onto the part where there were the people from the Zoom call. So it's kind of like the whole game is kind of like an overlay for a Mafia game, essentially. I mean, nobody would even have to use the game if they didn't want to. Well, correction, they would have to use the game off stream, but you wouldn't have to stream the game if you didn't want to. You could just stream the video and have the audio playing or whatever. So the idea is that the game handles the audio so that during the nighttime the Mafia can talk to each other. So everybody at nighttime would turn off their cameras, their Discord webcams, and then the Mafia would automatically be put into a voice over IP room with each other, handled by the game. Everybody stays in the same call in Discord and stays muted there. And the Mafia get put in a room together. If there's any like Masons or Mason equivalents, they get put in a room together, or like cultists, or uh, friendly neighbors, whatever they're called in regular Mafia. They get put into a room together. Basically, if you need to talk to somebody, get put in a room together. And I want to make it so that ghosts can hear the alive people and like talk about it. I'm trying to figure out a system for example, betting on alive people, who's gonna win, who's gonna live, stuff like that. It would be very interesting, I think, to kind of, because my main worry about Mafia, but streaming Mafia, is that it's not interesting to watch if you die early. So in order to combat that, I had the idea of making a betting system and allowing the ghosts to talk to each other to kind of banter a little bit, discuss the game, maybe even uh, influence the game in small ways. Like maybe they could egg somebody's house or whatever. Is that a message from the ghosts, or is it just happenstance? Are they trolling? Are they messing with one person in particular? Are they trying to tell you who the Mafia is? Who knows? That'd be part of the fun. I think that'd be a very fascinating concept. It would still be relatively simple, which is very important for the viewer experience. The main thing is, as I mentioned, the number one problem I had with the Discord bot. Well, there were two main problems, but the number one problem by far is that I don't know of a way to make it interesting to the viewers if somebody dies early. With this, they can still hear people, they can hear the streamer talking, they can talk to other people, they can mute the live people if they want, they can bet, they can egg somebody's house, you know, like that'd be fun. It's this way, it's a lot more compelling to continue watching if somebody dies early. And I'd probably be have the ability to switch around in the different chats so I could talk to people. And then if somebody wanted to uh, talk to me, I'd be able to go and talk to them or whatever. They'd have a little like panic button, and I come and talk to them, which I think would certainly be interesting. So that way, there would be like a host role, despite this being kind of a full-fledged game. Um, there would be, I don't know if I want to make an option or mandatory to have a host, but just to make sure that it runs all right, the game isn't bugging out. They would have control over bringing people alive. They would kind of introduce the game and be able to pause the game and make, yeah, I want to call it flavor text. Is kind of when in my mind it would be, so the game announces that somebody dies, but I have the information beforehand, so I pause the game. I say, all right, night night has I would practice this a little more. I wouldn't be like stumbling over my words and stuttering, but basically, like, night has ended, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see who comes out of their humble abodes. Oh no, Jimothy the cat boy VTuber has perished in his home, stabbed to death. Who could have murdered him? He was so innocent. He died before his time. I mean, I probably wouldn't wax poetic in that regard. I'd probably add a little bit of flavor text, like, all right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the town meeting. And oh my God, would you look at that? Jimothy has died, or whatever. They were stabbed to death. Maybe, even less than that, maybe more than that, just depending on the occasion. You could have flavored streams. You could, like, would it be ironic, have like an Among Us theme or whatever? Because the idea is that the roles are customizable inside of the game and saved to the disk, so you could have like imposter, crewmate. Uh, excuse me. What are the vanilla roles in Among Us? Like Mystic and Changeling and something else. I don't know. Like, so you could implement those, and um, sorry, I just got an idea. And you can kind of mess around with, different themes, Star Wars, Star Trek, I don't know, whatever you wanted to make out of it. Might be cool to have a Battlestar Galactica themed one. Might be interesting. I had this sudden idea, and obviously ideas are cheap, but this might not be something I can implement, but I do want to just say it out loud so I remember it. The idea that you could have different themes and um oh no, because then you'd have to. Well, the idea is simple, that you can make a theme and then mix some images and customize the layout, the UI in the game, which would kind of offset my artistic inability. But at the same time, I think that may be reaching the limits of my programming ability. So that's something that I may get put on the chopping block, may get put in afterwards. We'll kind of see how it goes. Unless the game is like $1 million and have the ability to pay somebody to design a UI for my game, I'm probably gonna release it in like a beta state where it's simple graphics. I want to have an aesthetic for it. I don't exactly know what that aesthetic would be right now. I don't think it would be Mafia. My first thought was Mafia, as one might imagine. Like a little. What hats do they wear? Are they fedoras? What do Mafia people wear? Like in The Godfather and stuff. Do they actually wear hats in The Godfather? I never really thought about this before. I don't remember much about The Godfather. I saw it once as a kid, about halfway through, and I don't remember anything about it. I know there's like 5 movies or some shit about it, right? I don't really know. I should watch it, but that's getting off topic here. It would be something kind of simple. Um, my ego tells me to make it about me, so CRT kind of old-fashioned type aesthetic, which I think that might be cool for. Excuse me, I burped. For the middle bit, for where the video is, you could have like a little Vic head or whatever. But again, that may be a little too much, maybe a little too egotistical. A lot of thinking going on here, but you know what we're gonna do? I've got a game here, and we're just gonna play it. I'm just gonna attempt to be entertaining and play a game. Other than that, let's see. It does in fact need to load first. This is the number two thing, besides being a little more energetic, being a little more interesting, being a little more kind of not just I wouldn't describe it as monotone, but uh depressed. I don't know. um besides that, besides not being that, uh is being able to talk and do things at the same time, which I was just failing to do. I feel weird being on the other side, so I'm going to hi. Oh, I'm back over here again. Okay, cool. Let's see. I'd never played this game before. Got it in a humble bundle because I forgot to pause my membership. But I don't know. I guess I have it now, so I might as well play it. Seems like a fun game. It's about like a plague doctor, and he's got to save the world or something like that. It says it is not responding. Okay, no, it's responding now. Cool, cool. Let's look at the options menu. Let's be a good consumer and double check everything is vibration, screen shake. No, thank you. Well, that's a little loud. What you think? Let's bring it down a bit. Down a tad. Display resolution, don't sync, unlimited brightness, quality. Just in case I set to like medium. Bring the audio down in game as well. There are no subtitles. Is this not a game that has whatchamacallit, that has speech? I guess maybe not. I'm gonna choose this one. Oh, I have to hold it down. Okay. It really caught my attention. I'm kind of surprised I've never heard of this game before. At the crossroads of existence, there's a serpent that bites her own tail, Ouroboros. This is kind of, I wouldn't say my aesthetic, but I enjoy this aesthetic nonetheless. On and on she gnaws without ending or beginning, only harmony. And yet there are those who would sicken her and force her jaw open. You'd think that would be kind of healthy for her to not be eating herself, for there are things which thrive only in discord and ruin. Like my Discord bot. Cycle broken, balance undone. Why do I feel like my headphones, like it's like this game is sending music to the back of my headphones? Though it felt the same way in Final Fantasy, so maybe it's just something weird going on with my computer, I guess. Wait, this sometimes happens when you don't have it plugged in all the way? Is that what happened? Oh yeah, there we go. Jesus Christ. I must have yanked on my headphones cord at some point. It's supposed to be a lady. It's fine. Ooh, very spooky. It reminds me of the Mario watchers. First steps are always the hardest. Don't worry, you'll soon grow accustomed to your body. There's quite a task ahead. It won't be easy, but I'll make sure to teach you all the right lessons. For instance, that'll be a transport out of this in-between. We'll meet again, Warden, in a more stable place. And by the way, I'd run if I were you. The corruption is coming. Excuse me? I don't particularly like the sound of that. Very rude. Is that a backhand? No, I think it's a normal hand, but still, that's kind of funny. Is there a way to rotate my camera? Can I? No? Oh, it's a carriage. I thought that was an eyeball. No, thank you. Dodge and weave. Dodge and weave. Maybe I should just be running. Maybe I shouldn't be dodging and weaving. It's very rude, I have to say, all things considered. Begin the journey. Okay. This is the kind of game that gives me anxiety, though, because, like, Don't Starve gives me anxiety, and it's kind of giving me Don't Starve vibes in terms of what I saw from the gameplay in the preview. Finally, after such a long journey, there it is, the source of corruption. Its blight spreads like wildfire. Given time, it'll consume everything. This cannot stand. There's much to be done. Was that me talking? Can I not change my camera? That's kind of annoying if that's the case, honestly. Is that a dog? Discover. Poor creature, the corruption truly spares no one. Corrupted dog. Poor thing. Poor little fella. Can I put him out of his misery? I'm probably not gonna like actually play too much of this, but again, I just... Ow. Stop. I just want... Stop! Can I not actually kill that? It feels like I should be able to kill that. Okay, I'll stop trying to kill it. I might die in the tutorial. That would be genuinely impressive. Brew some potions, research some items. Looks like a warden's chest, a special container. In case it's an ender chest, okay. Wear hat. Oh, hello. Oh, that's a lot of hats. Oh my god, I love that. Oh, that was one of the ideas for Mafia, is that you would be able to not just gamble, but also spend them on cosmetics. I know that's kind of a thing, and I'm attempting to kind of not be too similar to Town of Salem, but there are some things it does do very well. I want to make... I don't exactly know how I would make an aesthetic in a game that is mostly like a UI as opposed to a game. But maybe you could change the player's name, give a little icon next to them, prefixes or something, you know? Something like that might be cool. I would have a couple of different ideas for that kind of thing. Like, like maybe... I can't exactly think of a bunch of ideas off the top of my head. I feel like I had a lot more ideas previously. But that was also, I think, maybe when I still had the potential for when wardens sort of the cycle and balance. We met each other. We're both wardens, dangerous place even for lines. Anyways, why don't you try and explore this area for materials and equipment? With training your offensive skills to the dummy, this is not a peaceful realm. Not anymore. So I was just saying, talking about Mafia. It's like a red hole. Before you brew, you have to explore it in the research laboratory. Research, you have to study a few samples. I'm a little confused, I'm not gonna lie. What does it say remove? Did you craft like that? Nothing to craft? So can I can only have one item per brewing thing? Maybe it would have helped if I actually read this. I suppose. May have been a prudent idea. It's the property of your dishes. Get a cooked pumpkin. Cool. I should probably sleep and restore health. Because as opposed to Town of Salem, there wouldn't exactly be an avatar for the player to have. You know, kind of there's a little cute guy that walks the waddles out of a house, and there's a lot of room for customization for that in Town of Salem. You can customize the guy, customize the house, you can customize what else? I think you can give him like, I think it's mostly cosmetics for like the person. Oh yeah, there's also the death animation. Oh, that might be cool, like flash something on the screen before they die. Like maybe you can go out in like a fiery explosion if you wanted to. Like, that'd be cool. I think people would enjoy that. I'm still a little ambiguous. No, ambivalent, excuse me, on just kick that tree. Kick that tree. On the usage of a like last words type situation. I know a lot of these games you'll have a opportunity to kind of defend yourself before you get voted out. But there's not gonna be that in my game. We don't got time for that. We're trying to make this relatively fast. So even if we do have countermeasures against people getting bored and dying early and boring their streams or whatever, like there's still the opportunity to excuse me. There's still the opportunity. Can I cook that? Just be random nonsense. Yeah, just rancid mail. Okay, great. Probably should have just done it one at a time. Would have been an intelligent idea, so I could not have done it. Oh, it filters substances out of the body, I see. Oh god, you can eat worms. So yeah, that's something we're going to be not doing. What? This is weird. Oh, so these are live fish? That are ancient but could be used for vents, potions. Not all things that hide beneath the surface are treasures. Okay. Let's go investigate these fish bones. We need 8. Ew. But the general idea is just kind of a fast-paced, both of those things. Adventure into social deduction, which I think there's definitely a place for it. I love investigate locations. Did I miss something? There's a place for social deduction in the modern day, and Among Us has kind of calmed down a lot in a lot of regards. Sloppy potion. Okay, cool. In case you need 2 of those to be able to do things. Good to know. Oh. But I am generally a fan of social deduction, and I think that there's still a place for it on streaming services. There's a weird setup. I didn't mean to throw that out last one, okay. Finished investigating locations. Can I skedaddle skedoodle now, or you need something else, homeboy? You're very ominous. Can I go now? I should prepare for my journey first. So what am I missing? I need to grab this? Pick up? Is that what he was upset about? That I wasn't grabbing the lab? Guess that was probably it. Unless he wants me to slap the dummy a bit more, but I think I kind of got the hang of slapping it, as it were. Were it up to me, you never would have come to this place to face something so dangerous, but allow me to offer some guidance. If nothing else, you'll need to cross the wasteland at some point. There's an ancient tree with roots that spread far and wide, and that tree It burns with a ruinous flame, the corruption, of course, and it won't let you through without a fight, anyways. But good luck. I hope we'll meet again before the end. Is this not like my home base? I just kind of figured it was my home base, but I guess maybe not. Got an axe. Wait, I got an axe. Can I go back now? So I needed an axe to slap that tree to get the journal. I feel like I've done a pretty good job with not getting distracted by things. A world tome. What is a world tome, my friend? Information about this realm. Salmon lore kiosk. Okay, what did I learn? I might try something like Apex or something next time. I don't know when I'm going to stream next, I'll be real honest with you. I've thought repeatedly about the fact that I need to... Oh, he's gone. I've thought repeatedly about the fact that I need to take down my YouTube banner, or at least put nothing over it so people don't like get confused when I don't stream consistently. But, oh well, I guess. Oh, does this axe have durability? Hi. Stranger, the will's whispering, can you hear it? It does, the bustling murmurs of creation rising fiercely into this realm. Don't believe me? Hee hee hee. Press your ears, throw a coin, make a wish, and you shall have a glistening remedy against corruption. Do I have any coins? Where do I see my coins? I got 5 coins. Toss a coin to your witcher. This is not exactly my type of game, but I appreciate the fact that this exists. This is the type of game I think I would like to watch somebody else play. I'm not, I mean, I obviously play more Minecraft than I care to admit, but I, intelligence, weird. I'm not really a huge fan of these types of games, to be honest with you. Oh, was that a corruption I heard? Oh, I got a cheese. But no World Tome 3. Did I ever get a World Tome 1? I don't believe I did. But I should probably go and do things. I'm not gonna lie to you. I should probably go and work on the game and homework. And there was like one other thing I had to do. Oh, guitar. I need to do my guitar practice for the day. I've not been doing great about my guitar practice. It's something that I need to kind of double back down on. I can get followers? What kind of game is this? This was a don't starve type of game. And I guess it kind of is, but also kind of not. Either way, it's been pretty fun. Again, not exactly my type of game. I'm going to call it here just for the stream in general. Next time, if there's next time, sometime soon, I will probably just be doing like more gathering stuff or Pixelmon catching stuff. I might try and I might do not a bit. I just kept wanting to say bit for some reason. I might do a mini series isn't quite the right word. A consistent basis where I focus on attempting to just finish off my Pokédex, my living dex. I might also at some point switch over to 116 just so that I don't have to worry about future proofing or anything. Let me double check something. So let me get back to the big screen. I wonder if Pixelmon has already started implementing patches with the new Pokemon. I think at some point there's a patch on the 19th. Oh my god, there's the Wooper, the Paldean Wooper. It'd be fun to have like the create mod and stuff, and some of the like 116 type stuff. I'm rambling because I'm looking at these updates for 116. Apparently they've added the starters for the new era and new generation, and they've added Paldean Wooper and Clodsire, which are, I feel like that's kind of bold. I love it. I hope they add a how many dudes is it? Dune do Dunspire spear whatever. I don't know. I still need to look into the other version of Pixelmon, but I'm thinking probably just stick with this one. And I also don't know if will team. Oh, sorry, I'm reading about drama. 2-year-old drama. Um, not drama within 2-year-olds. Or I don't know. Maybe it is. Who am I to judge? But drama that is 2 years old. I'm thinking we'll just stick with this version of Pixelmon. I still don't know what the other version is like. I think it's like Reforged or something like that. But this one seems a little more consistent. Anyways, that'll be it for me tonight. Thank you for watching. I feel like I did pretty good. I feel like I was a little more upbeat, a little more energetic this time around. So hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, honestly. Catch you next time. Tune in next time.